Alright guys, we're back for the second part of our videos today. So the first one that I did was on my skincare routine and the Uology products that I have and how I prep my skin for makeup. So I am going to show you a full coverage foundation look. Okay, I'm not going to focus too much on any crazy like eyeshadows and stuff like that today, but I am going to go ahead and show you a full coverage part, so then you can always add, more shadows, make it more dramatic. But I like a full coverage foundation. The only time I don't like a full coverage foundation is if I'm going to be outside, like sunbathing or something like that. I may just put like my BB cream on that I have, but I usually, like if I'm going out anywhere, I like full coverage because I like that airbrushed kind of look to my skin. And I like kind of a more matte type of finish, although the setting spray that I have is for a glow. So, because too many mattifying products dries my skin out even more. So I have to kind of balance out a matte look with finishing with a little bit of hydration. So my skin has been cleansed and I've got my serum on, like I said in the video before. So now the first step that I do is I am going to prime my skin, okay? Now some of the products that I'm going to be using are my Younique products that I love, absolutely adore these products. So a lot of the eye products I'm going to use today are going to be Younique. For this full coverage look that I have, I actually have a different foundation that I like when I'm going for a more full coverage look, and I just tried it out. I bought it on a whim and I actually really like it. So usually I will use my Younique foundation, which let me show you here. So this is my Younique Mineral Touch Liquid Foundation. So this is in the shade Taffeta. I've gotten tanner over the summer, so I wanted to go and buy a little bit darker of a product because I felt like I was looking a little too light even with bronzing in that, and I wanted less layered product on my face. So I bought a little bit different shade, and I actually bought, this is I got this from Sephora. This is from Rihanna's line. This is the Fenty Beauty makeup foundation. So it's more of a creamier texture, which is going to give you that more full coverage look. Whereas my Younique, this is a liquid foundation, which I love. And it gives me the right amount of coverage without being too full coverage, but it's more than say like the BB Fresh that I have. So I really like this. This is the Maybelline Dream BB Fresh. This is an 8-in-1 Beauty Balm Skin Perfector. And this is in a medium deep sheer tint. So if I am just going outside and I really don't have much makeup on, or I don't want to wear much makeup, I can use this. Then I can add just a slight amount of a powder, maybe do my brows, put some mascara on, and call it a day. So this is what I use when I want really light coverage. When I want my medium kind of coverage, medium to / full, then I'm going to go in with my liquid foundation. And again, this is in the shade Taffeta. And then, so I've been wanting an even fuller, I mean, I could layer it on, but I needed a little bit darker of a shade anyways. So I wanted to try more of a creamier type of foundation. So when I went to Sephora, I picked up the Fenty product, and I love it. Like for that airbrushed, like kind of skin perfecting look. I'm going to open the door here. It's a little warm. This is kind of what I really, really like. So to start out with, first of all, I'm going to moisturize my lips now that I moisturized everything else. So I like to put this on. So this is from Chapstick. This is just the Total Hydration. This is a like lip oil. It's not necessarily like a chapstick. So Alright, I put that on, that way my lips are hydrating while I'm doing the rest of my face. So then when I do go to apply my lip products, then my lips are already moisturized. Younique's also got the great lip exfoliator. So if your if your lips are chapped or dry, it's good to exfoliate all that dense dead skin off, and then apply like a lip balm, or we've got our lip tinted moisturizers that are great. So I'm going to be ordering me some of that lip exfoliator because everybody keeps talking about how great it is, so I'm going to order some. But I've been using this I usually use this every day, and I haven't had a problem with my lips being dry or cracked, which I used to before I started using Younique products and learning about how to care for my skin, and that's just transferred into my lips too, so. Alright. So the first thing I'm going to go in with is, this is from NYX. This is their Hydra Touch Primer. So this is a hydrating primer. So if you have dry skin, you need to use a hydrating primer. So I'm just going to take a small amount and rub this in. It dries fairly quickly. So you're going to want to move relatively quick to spread this. And I do put it all over. That's I still have some lash glue from my okay. So I need my forehead here. Try not to get my bangs here. I put my contacts in so I can see without being so close to the mirror, because the one time I tried to film, I didn't have my contacts in. I had to be too close to the mirror, so it's hard for you guys to see everything. So I'm going to put a little bit of that primer up underneath my jawline. Okay. So once I put all of that on, then what I like to do, and you don't have to do this, so I don't know if that kind of... So it should feel slightly tacky, not bad, not like something's going to stick to you, but you should be able to feel kind of like where your product is going to apply and sit on there better. So I am going to go ahead and use a little bit of this, and I just kind of use it because it does tend to correct some of the tonal problems in your skin. I've got a little bit of issues kind of right there, a little redness. So I am going to go take some of this Dream BB Fresh from Maybelline. So I got this from Walmart. And I am going to put a little bit of this on. So again, that's about the tiniest amount that I use. And I'm just going to kind of rub that in. It's not about using a lot of product. I feel like it also is another good step in priming my skin. So again, small amount. And you can just use this. You don't have to, you know, use a bunch of foundation and all that. Some people don't like to use a lot of foundation, which I understand. It can be a pain in the butt to put on too. Trust me, when I'm doing like a full, like that full glam look you all were commenting on about the pictures, that took me like between an hour and a half to do. Because I'm a perfectionist too, so I had to make sure it was perfect. So I picked and picked and picked and picked at it for a really long time. So yeah, I mean, usually it takes me, even if I'm doing like a full coverage look, it takes me like an hour to do my makeup. I know that seems really long, but usually it's because I put lashes on, and you know, I like to wait. A lot of times I'll prime my face and I'll wait, give it a few minutes to, so sometimes it can take a little longer. Okay, so now my skin is primed. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to do my brows. So I've got this Brow Stylist Definer. This is going to be in the shade Dark Blonde. Now, this is slightly too light for me, if that makes sense. So, like, I mean, it technically isn't, but I like my brows to be slightly darker. So, I'm going to define with this, and then I'm going to go back in with some brow gel and then some powder, too, to really get a good look. So, this is like a super, super fine tip on it. Okay. So, I'm going to go in, try to do this. I'm going to look over here because I can see it better in the bigger mirror. So I'm just going to do short, sweepy little motions. I have no brows. Well, I do. They like to hide from me. I have very, very, very light eyebrows. My mother is the exact same way. Okay, so I'm going to do the other side. And I apologize because I'm looking over here. I've got you like dead center of my mirror here. Even if I'm not doing a complete full coverage look, I still usually, sorry, I'm going to get real close for a second. I still like to do my brows, because I feel like when you do your brows, it just makes your whole eye makeup look 1,000 times better. If you don't do, unless you have really thick natural brows, if you don't do your brows, your eye look looks unfinished. So, okie dokie. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of brush them with my little spoolie end here. I'm going to comb this out. Okay, now I am going to go into some brow gel. So this is going to be the Unbelievable Brow by L'Oreal. This is going to be in the shade Blonde. It is 560, I believe. That's what it says. It's up super. So comes out like this. I'm going to take an angled brush like this that's got a spoolie on the end, and I'm just going to dip a little bit of that on the end. Again, just a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of lightly put this in the dead center of my brow. You're not going to need a whole lot of product, just a little bit. Because I am going to go back in with some powder. So I'm going to let that sit. Do the other side. I feel like when I put the gel on, then it helps the powder to set a little bit better. So again, just a little bit of product. Then I'm going to take my spoolie in here and just kind of lightly comb through. I don't want to really remove any of the product. I just want to lightly smooth it out. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back in. I just kind of wiped off, actually I'm going to grab a different brush here. Alright, I'm going to come back in with another angled brush. This is the brush that I predominantly use for my brows. And I am going to take up, I've got my Brows to Fusion Cosmetic Kits, my brow kit. I'm going to pick up some of this shade Java. Just a little bit on the brush, because if you pick up too much, I'm going to tap it off, any excess, because I don't want it to be super dark. And I'm going to start in the middle of my brow. And just start to kind of press that in a little bit. Again, I don't want to make this too dark, but that blonde shade, I'd rather have to make my brows darker than go too dark and feel like I have to lighten them up, because I was using too dark of a product on my brows before, like last week. So see, look how much better. So I was using the brow pencil that came in this product. So this is like a dark brown, but it's really too dark for me, and my brows just looked so dark compared to my blonde hair. So then they kind of looked more drawn on than anything. So I've gone to a lighter shade, and I think that looks much better than if you look at my photos from like a week or two ago. So always learning. So now I'm going to go into the other eyebrow. And I'm just kind of pressing this in. I have to get a fan in here. I'm going to sweat. I'm definitely going to have to get a fan, because I usually do this up next to my air conditioner, where my air conditioner vent is upstairs, but the lighting is not as good upstairs as it is down here, so it's easier and you see better down here if I am in this bathroom. So I'm just going to finish up with my brows here, and then I'm going to go into my face and show you guys how to do a full coverage look. Now I am going to define these. So I'm just going to come back in with my spoolie here and very lightly just going to go through them. Same thing this side. And a drop on my brow. Okay, so for the most part, those brows are done. Now I'm going to go ahead and line my brows, but I'm going to grab a fan. So hold on one second, we'll pause you.